Hello, my name is Omar Abasad. It's March 30th, 2018 at 2:21 p.m. in Toronto. So I'm starting to get some problems with my camera. Every time I start blogging, the camera freezes. The last day it froze 6 times, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So not quite sure what's going on. So anyway, so this is take number three. So I'm just going to confirm before I go on that the tweets I tweeted on ROSHINI, those were all from me. So the account has been hacked. Those are mine. So I talked about the goings on about around the unit in the compound here around the building as well. I am a target, and the people in the building and of course outside the building knows that the police thinks I'm mentally ill. So keeping that in mind, they take advantage of that fact, knowing that they can call the cops, and the cops, because they think I'm mentally ill, will believe whatever they say and act on it. Now, I'm not saying all the cops are going to do that. I'm just saying um, there are some cops that I came in contact with that is repeatedly the ones I came in contact with, referring me to get mental health care when I talk about being stalked. Keep in mind that I'm flagged and I'm being monitored. To be monitored, you have to be stalked. Now, this morning, about an hour ago, two neighbors outside my door said, "We just had a meeting about you. You're out of here." An example of harassment outside my door. The neighbor across the corridor would pass my door and say, "You're a target, you're a target." Comment. There was a comment once before, "You belong in a red light district. We don't want you here." Um, and so on and so on. So they are harassing me. They are inciting my anger. Um, the same thing is going on outside my window, and even the kids shouting from the streets because the information, because it's a community targeting program, the community is taking part in it. So the adults who are taking part in it will ask the would ask the kids. Wow, that was just a burning sensation right there that caused me to burp. Excuse me. Um, it actually felt like something impacted on my stomach, on my chest there. Anyway, so sorry, it burns a bit there, right there. Okay, so as I was saying, the targeting is in the community. So the kids take part in it because their parents tell them what to say. I also suspect that my home is hooked up to an intranet or some sort of a hidden internet link, and a password is being given out, and kids are also looking in. School kids, because the school kids are very aggressive in their harassment in the bus. This topic is talked about everywhere I go. And the kids, the young kids, the teenagers, would say things. Actually, I posted a YouTube video at Young and Finch where I was being mobbed by school kids and saying things like effing whore, she's a effing whore. And they're calling the names Sir Mad, Khalid, and all the monitors that's on the account. So these monitors are monitoring me on behalf of whoever, reporting maybe to the police, I'm sure reporting to the police. And this is an ongoing meeting, an ongoing process of having meetings about me. The public is constantly giving information because I'm constantly flagged, and these meetings are constantly held. And the contents of the conversations in those meetings are being made public, and I'm being harassed with it. This is terrorization. This is defamation. It's putting blocks in my way to me getting. It's preventing me from getting a job. It's taking me out of the jobs that I do get because the harassment is in the workplace, the flagging process is in the workplace. The monitor who is monitoring me on behalf of whoever is placing somebody in my workplace to monitor me, and that person knowing that the police thinks I'm mentally ill and definitely is not on my side, is taking advantage of that fact and is harassing me relentlessly, relentlessly as a prostitute, and in some cases soliciting me and taking cover under the fact that I am a target, and the police just will not take my side, and they think I'm mentally ill. So when the cops get calls, and there are different regions, there's Peel region, there's the Toronto, there is York region. When the police gets calls from wherever I am, they have notes on the system that they all access, and the notes will say, "Gee, look, she's the cops at this division is saying is having getting all these calls, and these are the notes, and she's possibly mentally ill." Well, possibly by now, I think they probably think I am a mentally ill. I am a mental case. Um, these notes are internal notes that will get me killed one day, because somebody's will call the cops one day and say, "Gee, I think she's being aggressive, and I'm afraid of her, and she might have a weapon in her bag." And none of it would be true, but the cop would come with a gun and just kill me. Basically, I think that this is what it's maybe I am suspecting strongly that this is what's going to happen, or what is intended to happen. I shouldn't say what's going to happen. This is the intention of this whole process. How do I know that? Because this happened before. The prior owner of the unit across me was surveilling me because I was flagged by the worker who was in constant contact with the police in a certain division, and constantly telling lies about me. So he got the rights to monitor me, and he asked the neighbor to do it, or the neighbor volunteered. So I had the neighbor, the kids knocking at my door, running away. I had a noise campaign going on with the kids. The kids would pass my door like 10 times to go to the garbage chute and bang the garbage chute. I had kids using the corridor as a playground outside my door, bouncing basketballs off my door, off the walls, and this huge noise campaign that went on. And they called the cops saying I was harassing them. They also got the help from other people in the building who instigated situations in the elevator, in the underground parking. So they accumulated this file that they handed over to the police. And the police came one day, waited for me, pulled me out of my home, slammed me against the wall. I was dressed, with outside clothes. I had just come in from having lunch with a friend. I actually had a girlfriend with me. And without a question, they pulled me out of my home, slammed me against the wall when I tried to put my shoes on, cuffed me, lifted me off the ground, and took me out because I was insisting on having my shoes. Because I had socks on and I stepped out in the corridor when they asked to come in, and I stepped out of the corridor. I had turned when they said they were going to take me down to the hospital. I said, "Why?" They said, "We're just going to take you down." So I automatically turned to get my shoes because I had socks on, and I was lifted off the floor, slammed against the wall, my hands roughly pulled behind my back, cuffed. So two huge policemen, 6 feet tall, Caucasian, and afterwards I asked, why did they do that? And he said that was training. And so I said, "Did you not see that I am under 5 feet, and I was dressed properly, did not look anything like a mentally ill person. I had somebody with me. This sort of violence was not necessary." And then I learned that these two cops were fresh from fighting in one of the war zones. I can't remember which country exactly. It might have been Iraq or Afghanistan. Um, Kandahar, and they were fighting brown-skinned people. And my name was Oma, Omma, rather than Omar, but they pronounced my name with an R. Is that relevant? The people who were monitoring me were Pakistani. Is that relevant? Now, it brings to mind, the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. Maybe it could possibly have been a racist reaction, but it could also have been the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder that the cops might have been suffering from. So anyway, so I am trying to prevent this from happening. I am scared to death. I am scared to death that this happens again, and the next time it happens, I will not come back. Most likely, I will die in their custody because I am, I know that I'm being targeted by the cops. I know they're not going to believe anything I say. I know that they're not going to question me. They're not going to hear my side of the story. At this point in the game, I think disposal of me because I'm talking so much, trying to expose what's going on in this building. It's trafficking, out and out trafficking, under the guise of flagging and monitoring. The criminals are taking it, 10 steps further and passing around passwords to have people look at me inside my home and gerbil, electronically gerbil. We all know what gerbling means sexually, where they put a gerbil up your butt, basically. Well, that could be done with a laser. So this is what's being done. This is remote rape. So this is what's being done to humiliate, degrade, and there is a Muslim connection to this file because the family who called the cops the first time was Pakistani. The man who was monitoring me, who had his name on the account and who I hear outside the window, the name, is also Muslim. The person who I worked for like 6 years ago, who was a steward, I believe, of my estate without telling me, running a scam basically, and I heard he got subsidized wages as well, also Muslim. The two people who lied and had me charged, and the charge was dismissed, Muslim women with their faces covered, completely in black, only eyes showing. There is a Muslim connection to this file. So as to why the cops are not believing me when I am talking and giving my side of the story is a really good question. Why is my name on the list? Why am I being trafficked? Why is the RCMP not investigating this trafficking? Why is my family being bamboozled? Because my brother is really conservative and he believes the police. And I am sure that I would not have been targeted by my family if the police was not involved in the targeting as well. There is no mental illness here, absolutely none. There is no criminal background. There's absolutely no criminal activity, none whatsoever. Because there is in my personality profile, there is no criminal intent. It doesn't fall within my scope of thinking to act in a criminal way. It just doesn't. It doesn't fall within my personality profile. It doesn't fit. Everything that's being said about me, like stealing and stalking and soliciting and showing my body parts to people, these are being said by Muslim men. There is a Muslim agenda connected to this file that should be investigated rather than disposing of me by having me committed mentally on a basis of lies, or have me charged for things I didn't do and then have the charge dismissed, but using the process to kill me, basically. This shouldn't be done. There's a lot of news articles that involves people being targeted by Sharia practicing people. I am one of them. I'm a Sharia practicing um, let me say that I am a victim of Sharia practicing men. This is where it started. I think a Sharia practicing man masterminded this whole program that I'm in right now publicly. I believe there was one before that was done covertly. But the public aspect of this, going public, was started by a Muslim man who was a steward of my estate, I heard. None of this disclosed to me, espoused me without disclosing. These are all part of a sex slave operation. I definitely didn't solicit this man. If he knew that I was registered in the system and he was reporting about me, he was taking advantage of that to groom me as a sex slave, since he knew how vulnerable I was at the time. These things should be investigated. Talk to you another time.